Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back discussing an alternate cut of Deep Red. Alternate Cuts is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I watch and discuss alternate versions of various movies. Deep Red is a 1975 giallo, directed by Dario Argento. There are multiple cuts of this film, including the director's cut, which runs approximately 2 hours and 7 minutes, the US extended cut, which runs approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then there's this cut, titled The Hatchet Murders, with an approximate runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. For years, this was the most readily available version of the movie. Since Deep Red is also a video nasty, Jason and I also watched the director's cut for those videos. Again, that is the longest version, running approximately 2 hours and 7 minutes. That means The Hatchet Murders is nearly half an hour shorter. Now, here's the thing. Deep Red is universally loved and widely considered to be a masterpiece. Many believe it is Dario Argento's best film, and many feel it's the greatest giallo ever made. I'm gonna be honest though, and I'm sure Jason will be as well. When we watched that 2 hour and 7 minute cut, we were kind of bored. Now, we had both seen Deep Red before, but it had been a long time. For some reason, it just wasn't connecting when we watched it for the Video Nasties challenge. I really wanted to love it. We both did. But instead, we found ourselves just wishing it would end. The director's cut, in my opinion, is way too long. Then, one night, I mentioned to Jason that I was planning on watching The Hatchet Murders. I was curious to see how I'd feel about a shorter version of the film. Jason said he would watch it with me, and then I had the idea to cover it for alternate cuts. Once again, we went into it wanting to love it, and hoping we would. Well, I'll tell you this. With a much shorter runtime and a much faster pace, I much prefer The Hatchet Murders. Do I now think it's the masterpiece people claim Deep Red is? No, but I do really like it. I know Jason preferred this version as well, but I'll let him tell you about that. You see, The Hatchet Murders is Deep Red, without all of the unnecessary filler. This version doesn't cut any kills or gore. It cuts dialogue. It also eliminates a lot of the unnecessary humor and completely cuts an entire subplot. Most of all, though, it edits out a lot of the scenes between the two leads. That's David Hemmings as Marcus and Daria Nicolodi as Gianna. I almost feel like Gianna's character could have been eliminated completely, and it wouldn't have changed the movie. But she was Argento's significant other at the time, so obviously she needed her screen time. She just received much less of it in this cut of the film. It's nothing against her as an actress, or even her character. Her character was just unnecessary, and because of that, so many scenes in the director's cuts are unnecessary. Plus that insignificant subplots and the comedic elements. Instead, what we have with The Hatchet Murders is a more cohesive giallo. It's more of a straight-up slasher. What I also find bizarre is this. Now, I read and watched a lot of reviews on Deep Red. In nearly all of them, the reviewers were praising the movie. Again, words and phrases like masterpiece and Dario Argento's best work and greatest giallo ever were used. And anyone who commented with a different opinion was criticized. For whatever reason, Deep Red is one of those movies people are not allowed to dislike. Yet there are other horror films people get criticized for enjoying. It all sounds very pretentious to me. Here's a significant fact, though, for all of you people who like putting others down who don't enjoy the director's cut. The director himself, Dario Argento, prefers the shorter version of the film. So while those of you out there on your high horses are belittling those of us who prefer the Hatchet Murders over Deep Red, think about that. Even Argento thinks the so-called director's cut is the inferior version. Ultimately, though, in all seriousness, it doesn't matter. I'm glad people enjoy movies, whether or not I agree with their opinion. I personally do prefer the Hatchet Murders over Deep Red. It's paced better, it flows better, and it's an overall better viewing experience for me. But the great thing about both versions existing is the fact that we have alternate cuts. Please be sure to check out Jason's video as well to hear what he has to say about this one. What are your thoughts on the debate between Deep Red versus the Hatchet Murders? Comment below and let me know. Which alternate cut of which movie will we discuss next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.